Right then, that was the Star Wars Custom Arcade build by SHAR-KADE. Now, this unit in front of us is a 27-inch Bartop unit. It comes with our 8TB Hyperspin setup. Now, our 8TB Hyperspin setup has over 340 plus systems with all your retro classics and some next-gen cool fighting titles like Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Mortal Kombat XL, and a lot more. Now, like I say, that has 340 plus system and 98,000 games. You do have two pinball buttons on the side of the unit for playing pinball systems like Pinball FX2, FX3, Future Pinball, and I believe Arcade Pinball, which there's over around 500 plus tables throughout those systems alone. And then you have a massive collection of MAME games. So if we head up to MAME now and just go ahead and press our A button, what we call the A button, the first button, bottom row. And then if we wish to play a cool title like Pac-Man, we would just hold left or right on the arcade stick, and then you can go and search by letter. Now, if I want Pac-Man, I'd go to P. If I wanted something like Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter, I would actually go to T first, because there's that many games on the MAME system alone. I would go to T, then head up from T into the SUs and stuff like that. It's just easier to cycle through than going to S and spending a couple of minutes scrolling through the games to find just one game. It does have a hypersearch system on there. It's not always 100% accurate. You do have to spell the game correctly as it is on the system, or it's not going to detect it properly. But I find I don't ever use it, to be honest. I use this method because the games I play, I know what I'm searching for and I just go straight to that game. But like I say, the hypersearch does work on there. It's had a couple of fixes and stuff, so it works, but like I say, you've got to be accurate on the spelling of your game. So let's head to P. What I'll do is I'll go to Q instead, because I prefer the Pac-Man version, so I'll go up from there. So let's head into Pac-Man. Now, what I call the digital systems, because there's a lot of retro consoles on there, as well as analog system consoles like the PlayStation 1 and stuff like that. The digital systems I call the Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, stuff that only had like a D-pad. The analog systems that used an analog controller are called analog systems. So if you wish to play analog systems, you would have two Xbox 360 controllers that would plug into the USBs on the front or the back, depending on what unit you've got, and then you can play those systems with the Xbox controllers, or with controllers as they should do. So let's add a couple of credits. You can add credits for player 2, but Pac-Man's mainly one player. You can do two players, press start with player 2, and then I'm not sure if Pac-Man uses just the first joystick for taking turns with, or if you get to use the second joystick. I'm not 100% sure on that. So let's start a game. So the units come with official sandwich sticks. Now, official sandwich sticks I prefer using for all-round gaming. That's because they're great for fighting games, and they're super accurate for games like Pac-Man, Crawl, and other cool titles. So if you wish to exit a system, you would press your left pinball button. Now if we head down, we can do another search. Let's say Street Fighter. These are my usual go-to games, and probably the most popular games someone plays, and then I can test the controls, make sure the controls are as they should be. So you'd usually have your free punches at the top for Street Fighter, and your free kicks at the bottom. So I'd go to T, then I'd head up to Super Street Fighter 2.
Loading.
add a couple of credits, player 1, player 2. You do have your volume on the front of the unit as well if you wish to change the volume up and down, and then just press start player 1, player 2. Now if you come across a game that you wish to do a custom configuration to, you can press your pinball and start button. I just recommend you be careful editing anything in this. You can't change the general input settings, as you've got to go into Windows and change the default setting, the default config to non-read only, so you'd have to disable read only on that file to do any default config. This is so people can't just, customers or children can't just go into the settings, change the settings over and completely mess up the configs and stuff. Each game in MAME does have a input this machine, so you can go to input this machine, and each for that game it has all the different configs for player 1, player 2, and then you can go in and change button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4 to whichever layout you wish. And then if you do make a mistake, let's say if I go to button 3 there and change it to button 0, sorry. If I want to change that back, I would just press delete on the keyboard twice, and then it'd change it back to button 4. That reset it straight back to the previous button it was. Or if you wish to still change that button input, you just press the delete key once on that button input, and then it'll make it blank, and then you can change it to whatever you wish. So if you wish to get out of this menu, you can go straight to the bottom of the list, return to previous menu, or just press the coin and start button together and it'll take that menu off. Now as you can see, you have your free punches, free kicks for Street Fighter, player 1 and player 2. Like I say, if you wish to exit the system as well, you just hit your left pinball button. That will quit straight back to Hyperspin. Now if you wish to go back, you can press your second button, bottom row, which is our B button. The controllers are mapped out like Xbox 360 controllers. So you'd have A, B, X, Y, LB, RB, left trigger, right trigger. Same with player 2. So when it comes to next gen titles like Tekken 7, me personally, I prefer to play them with the arcade sticks. Feels a lot better to game on next gen titles, fighting titles, with the arcade sticks than it does controllers. Some people prefer controllers, but that's how I have the system set up. If a customer does wish to change it, it's up to them. You would have to go into Windows again and change some configs around, or delete some configs to work controllers. You can't have them both intertwined because it causes issues with certain games like Tekken 7 and stuff. So then, let's go back and let's head down. So there's another thing as well. I don't shut off the machine from the back of the unit. Now if you wish to properly shut down the machine, you shut it down like you would a Windows PC. So this has a exit menu. So when you're at the main menu with Hyperspin, you press your B button, and then you'll get a notification saying exit, would you like to exit, and then you would just click yes with your first button. If you don't wish to exit, if you press that by accident, you can go no, or press your back button and it'll bring you straight back. So yeah, we'll have a ton of systems on there. We do a light gun kit, which is more of a Wii controller kit. You have a Wii bar and some Wii controllers with our Wii controller kit, and you can play light gun games. It's not 100% perfect. It does work really well. It's loads of fun still. But we're looking into more of getting some of the newer light gun stuff. I'm not doing aim track guns, calibration nightmare that can cause issues and stuff, and it saves time me calling up customers, helping them configure them and stuff, or recalibrate them and stuff like that. So I'm looking into the AE guns or the guns for IR gun kits. That's coming soon. well, not too soon, but sometime next year I'm going to have the full configuration all set up for these units. They can be quite expensive kits. The guns themselves aren't cheap. So let's head further down. We do have a ton of different systems, collections and stuff like that. So we have a Mega Man collection, Metal Slug collection. We have midway collections like Mortal Kombat stuff as well. We have Mugen, which is, it's basically a make your own fighting game. It has characters from Street Fighter, Family Guy, The Simpsons. Any character you wish is on those types of games. Really, really cool little 2D fighters. Make your own fighter. So let's head down. We've got Namco, we've got Need for Speed stuff. We've got Nintendo Entertainment System arcade games. We've got the NES. We've got Game Boy Color, GameCube. We have Pokemon Mini. We have Super Game Boy as well. The Super Game Boy was an attachment, a Game Boy attachment cartridge for the Super Nintendo. You could put your Game Boy games in there and play them through your Super Nintendo. We have Satellite View, Virtual Boy, which wasn't a great system to be honest, but it's on there. We have a Versus system, which I believe was the Nintendo arcade systems. We have Nintendo Wii light gun games as well. We have Wii U on there. We have arcade PC games. Now, the PC games are just a nice collection of older PC titles. You've got some cool stuff like Shank. Shank's pretty cool. Shovel Knight. Streets of Rage 4 has now been added to the system as well. It was on our 16 terabyte builds, but we've moved it over to our 8 terabyte build. And then we've made a little extra space for some next gen PC titles for the 11 terabyte and 16 terabyte setup. Now we have Street Fighter 5 on there, Angry Bird stuff, Crazy Taxi, Cuphead, Pac-Man DX. And then if we just go up to PC fighting games, we have the cool PC titles. Now this unit does have a GTX 1650 graphics card inside. It has 8 gig of DDR4 RAM and a Ryzen 3 CPU. Now we're trying to keep the standard at a decent standard. So our bare minimum is that. Now we did used to use Athlon CPUs, the lower end CPUs, but as CPUs got cheaper and the Ryzen chipsets come out, which were a lot better CPU, we've upgraded our standard as the Ryzen chipset. For our next gen, our higher end setups, we use the Ryzen 5 CPUs. You can upgrade the CPU, you can upgrade the graphics card if you wish. GPU prices are quite high. At the moment, I believe the RTX 3060 graphics cards are getting as cheap as the RTX 2060s, so it's only a matter of time we do upgrade our standard as the RTX 3060 rather than the 2060. The 3060 is a bit better powerful GPU, and it comes with those 12 gigs of DDR RAM. So now then, we have Tekken 7. Tekken 7 is cool on the arcade. It's brilliant to play on these custom arcade setups with the arcade controls. We have King of Fighters 13. We have Dead or Alive 5, another cool title. We have Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Now, I was one of the first to have Dragon Ball Fighter Z on our arcades, on all custom arcades when this was originally released. Then we have Guilty Gear XRD, we have Injustice 2, Injustice 1, Jump Force, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 9, I believe that is, Mortal Kombat 10, which is XL, and Soul Calibur 6. And I think Street Fighter X Tekken and stuff like that. So some really cool titles. That's just basically the start of the next gen stuff. It's not really next gen anymore. They're getting quite older games, but they're still quite they need a half decent GPU to play max settings and stuff like that. So the system is open up for upgrades, and etc. and etc. So let's head further down and take a look at what else is on the setup. So we have the Pinball FX2, Pinball FX3 stuff. We have PopCap games, which is more used for keyboard and mouse. We do offer trackballs on the larger stand-up setups, but they are £150. For the amount of trackball games, I believe 100 trackball games on there. Me personally, I'd just use a trackball mouse. For the trackballs themselves, they aren't a cheap kit to buy and add to the system. I use the Ultralux, I believe they're called the Ultramark trackballs. So it is an upgrade, but I don't always recommend it if you're not always going to use it, and if you want to save yourself a few quid. So let's head down. There's Sega Dreamcast, there's Sega Genesis, Sega Game Gear, Sega Mega Drive as well, which was just the UK version of the Genesis. We have Sega Mega Drive Japan. We have Sega Model 2 and Model 3. We have Sega Naomi. We have Sega Naomi 2. We have Sega Ring White, Sega Ring Edge, which are just mainly your TeknoParrot stuff as well. We don't have TeknoParrot on the 8TB build. We only offer TeknoParrot on the 11TB build, or we do offer a TeknoParrot upgrade for the 8TB setup if you upgrade the SSD hard drive. Now what I do is I create a partition on that drive and add those titles on a separate drive called E drive, which will load all those TeknoParrot stuff, all those cool titles. You're going to need at least a 500 gig upgrade, or up to maybe 750 or a terabyte. The TeknoParrot collection is getting a lot bigger as well, so if you wish to have all the TeknoParrot games, I would say maybe a 750 SSD hard drive upgrade. So we have PlayStation 1, we do have PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, but I've found a couple of errors on a couple of the PS3 games, so them have been removed. And PS3 emulation still isn't great. The Nintendo Switch stuff is on our new 16TB build, and we're looking at upgrading that even further to 24TB and stuff. And then if we head down, we do have the just all the different types of collections. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, wrestling. We have Atari 2600, 5600, boxing games, Capcom, and so on and so on. So what I'll do is I'll cut away the video, and then I'll show off the artwork and stuff like that of the unit. So I'll catch us in a sec. Right then, so down the left hand side of the unit we do have that Imperial logo there, and then we have some AT-ATs on the side which blends in nicely with this unit. We have just went with a plain design. The customer just wanted something plain, not too flashy. Across the control panel there we do have the Death Star dust covers, custom dust covers. We have a red and blue button layout. We do have the Imperial and Rebels logo there in the center, and then we've got that nice graphite look going throughout the whole unit. Now we have two USB ports on the front there, and then just on the right hand side we do have that Rebel logo there, and we have the two droids there, RTD2 on the side there, which looks really cool. I think that's Luke's home planet in the background there. I'm not a Star Wars fan, the missus is, but I'm not. So across the marquee we have the Atari logo. The customer didn't want Star Wars on there, wanted just a plain Atari logo on there. And then we do have that nice grayed out bezel, and just underneath the marquee we have that graphite look going throughout the center art of the machine. Now if we go to the back here, we have them really nice looking custom grills there. We have the Rebels logo with that graphite top panel, and then we have that Imperial logo there in the center, with a nice red trim going around both the custom grills. On the back marquee, we do have that same marquee again with the Atari logo, and then if we follow down, we have that Star Wars custom fan grill there, which just fits in nicely with that back design as well. That same design you see on the control panel there, just looks really smart, really clean looking unit. And throughout the unit we do have a nice chrome trim T-molding. So really nice looking machine, nothing too flashy, not like my usual builds. It's just a nice classic look. Like I say, the customer didn't want anything too flashy, too in depth. I think it was something to do with his missus. But anyways, what I'll do is I'll call it a day. I'm going to get another video done of the Lost Boys cabinet. I've got some testing to do on that, and then I'll get some video content done of that. And make sure you check the links down below for the photo content of this unit, because I like to take some high quality photos of all my units, and it really does show off the artwork nicely. The only issue I've got with taking photographs of the Lost Boys cabinet, because it's really black and reds in the light and it's terrible in the shop, it's hard to really get a nice photograph of the reds in there. It comes out orange a lot. So I'm hoping the video shows off more of the artwork than the photographs do themselves. I tried the other day to take some nice photographs of it, but it keeps coming up like an orange color. It still looks cool, but the photographs show off this orange glow. So make sure you like, share, subscribe to the videos, hit that notification bell, and hopefully in upcoming videos I'm going to show off a lot more gameplay footage as well of the SHAR-KADE custom arcade hard drives. So like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch us in the next one. Bye.